everyone, I'm back with a little mini gardening update. I just wanted to show you guys the process of what's called up-potting, where you take your established seedlings and you move them into bigger containers. So first off on containers, I like to keep containers from other plants I've bought, or people save them for me, which is nice. And I did also, last year I went to Christmas tree shop and they had a set of pots with a dome and a bottom water, which is this, on sale for like $2 or $4. So I reuse those, things like that. One thing that's important is if you are going to reuse pots you've used before, most people suggest cleaning them out with like 1 part bleach to 9 parts water, like that sort of thing. Because if there's any leftover disease or bacteria in the container and then you go and put a new plant on top of it, you are essentially reintroducing plants to something that was already there. Now, from my standpoint, I only worry about that if the plant that left it previously had an issue. And at that point, I'll wash it out when I'm done with that, so I don't have to worry about it when I'm getting to this step. So just a little side note there. For this process, I'm going to be using a little bit of this. This is a Spoma Biotone starter fertilizer. I have not used it before, but it's been recommended by so many gardening people I watch that I thought, what the heck, I'll try it. And then last year, I picked this up, as the camera shakes, from Walmart. Pro tip that I learned last year, if you go towards the end of summer, Walmart usually puts all their soil on clearance, and got this baby for $2, which is really cheap. Had I realized it was a thing and was able to put more time and thought into it, I probably would have picked up more than just the 3 or 4 bags I did, and I only got one of these as I'd never used it before. But it's really good for seed starting, so I figured I'm going to use that for this. So I'm going to try and open it. My goodness, it's so compressed. All right, good enough. And I'm going to do a very similar process to what I've done before, which is take the soil, and since it is so compressed, I'm going to kind of break it up as I go. All right. Maybe one more handful just for educational purposes. All right, so I got some soil going in there. Put this back down. All right, and similar to what we did before, we're going to take our soil, take some just water, just regular old water, and you want to get your soil nice and moist before you do this. Needs a little bit more. All right, that's perfect. Nice and moist, but not dripping wet. All right. So the first thing I'm going to up-pot is, I believe I'm going to do my cabbages and kales here. And since I know they're sort of a bigger plant, I was going to go with these taller containers. So you're going to take the soil, you're going to push it in there. All right, and I'm going to leave it in there. And now I'm going to take my tray here, and I should have grabbed my chopstick, so hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. And when I said chopstick, I literally mean a chopstick. I know it's silly, but they have these little tiny holes in the bottom here, and I can just kind of stick a chopstick up there and kind of help break it up. Sometimes it'll push out the plug, sometimes it just kind of helps loosen the seed. And one thing you want to do when you're doing this is you want to very carefully, it's okay if you disturb the roots a little bit, you don't want to rip up too many roots, and you don't want to grab it by the stem. The stem is really vital to transplant transporting nutrients from the roots to the leaves. So if you squeeze that, you kind of break the process of that happening. So you kind of want to do it by the leaves. And then I'm just going to make a circle there in the middle, tuck in my roots. And then I want to come back in. You don't want to bury it too deep. I did that a little deeper than I wanted. All right. So now I've got 1 Golden Acres cabbage up potted. So then what I would do is I'd spray him in really quick. Make sure he's nice and happy. Totally forgot to use fertilizer, which I should have done first, but that's okay, I'll do it in the next one. And then I take these and I'll put them all in this tray. And then what I do is I fill the bottom of this with water so that the water is absorbed from the bottom up. All right, so since I forgot to do the fertilizer, let's do one more together. Open this up. So the way I do fertilizer, technically you should probably read the instructions. I'm notoriously terrible about doing that. So I'll go in, I'll just sprinkle a little bit in here. In sort of like a middle layer. I don't put it on the top, I don't put it directly on the bottom. So I just kind of sprinkle it in the middle. All right. And when I do plugs, I usually, like I told you guys when I started them, I usually do more than 1 per pod. So I'm just going to take the other half of this starter. Ooh, and it came with a lot more dirt. I think I'm going to try and... Oh, nope, it's pretty in there. Okay. Need to make a bigger hole for this one. Okay. And there is my second cabbage ready to go. So I'm going to continue to work through all of these today. All of them should work pretty similarly. I wanted to show you the lettuce quick though before I end. So obviously you can tell there's a lot more than just 2 seeds in here. And look, you can even see that extensive root system. What I wanted to share, since I kind of said you don't want to mess up the roots too much, with lettuce, first off, I already kind of came through here and took out a few seedlings and put them in my arrow garden, which I had shown in a couple video or pictures. A lot of times I'll probably just get a bigger container like this and just keep this clump together, because I personally like my salad as more of a baby greens cut and come again sort of method, and I don't ever expect it to come to a head or anything like that. And the cat's climbing on me like a tree right now. Hi, Emmy. So I will probably just take this whole thing and stick it in a container. And when I did the transplanting from here to the arrow garden, I did remove a few roots just because they were so entangled. It was really difficult to get the little seedling away. Please don't drink that. How about we just not be up here? Too many chemicals. And they're growing in the arrow garden just fine. So you want to be careful. You want to keep as extensive a root system as you can. But at the same time, if some of them come off, it's okay. They're plants. They want to grow. They generally will grow. And let me put this cat back down. Okay, so that's all I really wanted to share with you today. I'm going to go and work through these and I'll post a photo later. Thanks, everyone. Bye.